All right, let me go back to our guests. Ambassador Rakesh Sood, for someone who had such a huge bounty on his head for 20 years, the Americans were after him, the Pakistanis supposedly were after him, and so was the former Afghan government. How is it that Ayman al-Zawahiri was able to stay out in a safe house right in the heart of Kabul, and seemingly no one had a clue about it?
Well, let me just say that yes, the Americans were after him, but you added to that by saying that the Pakistanis were after him, or that the Taliban government and Taliban regime in Kabul was after him. I would not say that the other two are in the same category, because it's quite clear. In fact, if you saw the report by the UN Security Council Sanctions Monitoring Committee, which came out in the month of June, I mean, it said very categorically that the links between the Taliban regime and Al-Qaeda continue, and it cited the approximate number of Al-Qaeda fighters that are currently in Afghanistan. So I see absolutely, it is quite understandable that Ayman al-Zawahiri, well, it's a bit of a surprise that he was staying in Sherpur. Sherpur is really, it's a very, Sherpur is a suburb which, as the report said, is very central, downtown Kabul. It has houses, huge houses with very high walls, because a lot of Afghan political leaders, warlords, have had their houses there. So they have these huge walls, and some of them even have anti-aircraft gun locations in these on the corners of these walls.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a fairly secretive kind of a house, in the sense that you can't make out anything from the outside. But it's about as surprising as Osama bin Laden being found in Abbottabad. I mean, under the nose. So that's how I would take it.
Michael Kugelman, vis-a-vis what this may mean for Pakistan, we know on the one hand, the U.S. authorities have said that they did keep Pakistan in the loop, particularly for use of its airspace, as we are given to understand, when this operation was planned and when this operation was undertaken. But more importantly, the fact that the Haqqanis now are the de facto power in that country, and the Haqqanis, at least on record, have said that they had no idea that Zawahiri was living in the safe house right under their nose. What may this mean for U.S.-Pak ties?
Well, I mean, there's still a lot of details about this operation that we don't know yet, such as whether Pakistan actually may have provided some form of assistance to the U.S., whether that entails the use of its airspace, which I certainly don't think could be ruled out, or even possibly providing some intelligence after the U.S. had discovered where he was. As I understand it, the planning for this operation lasted a number of months, about 6 months, I believe. So if there was if there was any type of Pakistani assistance, then certainly that would obviously reduce the chances that that tensions could emerge from everything that played out here. But indeed, it's quite significant that Zawahiri was in a home that was run by the Haqqanis or those connected to them. That's critical. But my sense is that Pakistan, it has been very quiet. Islamabad, I don't think, has issued any type of formal statement about what happened. It's got all kinds of problems at home with its economy and with political uncertainty. I think that it would prefer to stay quiet and hope that attention dies down and questions are not asked, though certainly questions will be asked. But I would think that really it was the Taliban that one has to think of it. There's no way that Zawahiri could have been living where he was for so long without the Taliban top leadership knowing about it, and especially given the connection to the Haqqani. So this operation, I think, really was a big blow, not just to Al-Qaeda, but also to the Taliban, maybe even a bigger blow to the Taliban, because it has shattered once and for all the myth propagated by the Taliban that there are no longer links between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Also, if you had some members of the Taliban that might have provided some help to the U.S. by providing some intel, some renegade Taliban, if that was the case, that could really exacerbate what already are from some pretty significant divisions within the group. And finally, I think that the discovery of Zawahiri in Kabul shows that the Taliban violated the Doha deal with the U.S., which stipulates that the Taliban not let any threat to the U.S. be based on Afghan soil. So big blow to the Taliban for sure.